What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 35 of the Rise to Glory here with Gibraltar Apex. And today I've got for you guys the first ever, certainly not the first ever, the first UEFA Champions League qualifying stage of the year. Hopefully we can get to the third round again. That's got to be the aim. There is one more stage after that to get to the group stage, but we were pretty close last time out. Financially, we definitely benefited last year. We want to build upon that if we can. If we can get to the same stage in the competition, that would be insane. In terms of what's been going on at the club, there's not been a ton going on. There's been one or two departures. If we just look at the transfer history, Nicolas Alexander Reyes left at the end of his contract. Sad to see him go, but at the end of the day, he wanted to play regular first-team football. He wasn't going to get that here, and he decided to leave for his own good. Of course, on the Inter, much anticipated signing, I guess, Aaron Holmes, a player who we signed 2 years ago from Rapids, I guess it is Rapids Academy. Of course, that's Colorado. And you can see here he's played a lot of football in America. He's never particularly shone there. He's not a very great player. I don't know why or how really a Gibraltarian player ends up gelling in America, but he did. I'm glad he did. And we're going to try and do as much as we can with this guy. You can see he's a Colorado Rapids fan. He is eligible to play for Gibraltar off the bat, which is really cool. I'm hoping he might get called up. I'm hoping he'll elect to play for Gibraltar, because he's an absolutely superb centre-back, and he probably comes in as our best defender, the 18-year-old. So delighted to have him in. There was actually a point where he was called up for the Gibraltar squad, and then he got injured, which was a bit of a shame. He hasn't got any youth caps either, which is a little bit of a weird one, but he's a very talented player. I have no doubt he'll get a few caps sooner rather than later. So those are the bits of transfer kind of business that have gone on. Not too much yet. There's a few things in the pipeline that might come along. In terms of who we've got today, well, we're taking on Avenir Beggen. They are a team from Luxembourg, I do believe. They are indeed. They don't have a great team if we just have a quick flick through their players. They're all virtual greyed out players that the game adds, of course. So they actually have players at all. None of them are particularly good. I'm hoping we can win fairly convincingly here. Squad fitness, a little bit of a concern, as it always is at kind of this early stage, I guess, of the competition. If we just look at our team, you can see here, condition, it's a little bit of a problem. And actually, I don't know how or why we have this, but a lot of our reserve players have really high conditions. So part of me wants to start some of them today, and I think I'm actually going to do that. I don't really want to risk an injury unnecessarily, and with a lot of players on kind of 90-plus condition playing against a pretty weak team, it almost makes sense in some ways to just let these guys play this first leg, and then in the second leg we can play our strongest team if we absolutely have to. So yeah, we'll make a few changes here. I am going to give a debut, I do think, to Leon King. This guy is a player who came through our academy. He's 20 years old now. I don't want to say he's a player I've ignored, but I certainly didn't consider him really a Premier Division player. A few years ago he went on loan and played regular first team football for Glasses and kind of proved himself a little bit. And with a few departures on the outs when it comes to centre-backs and a few players wanting out, and also the fact he's now been called up for the Gibraltar national team, I kind of feel like we deserve, and he should, be playing regular first-team football in our team if possible. Now, he's a good passer of the ball, pretty good in the air as well, with half-decent heading and jumping, but his pace is really excels. That's certainly going to help us, I think. Not the best defensively, marking and tackling, pretty dubious, but a nice athlete to have at centre-back. Looking at the other players struggling for condition, John Murray is really struggling. I'm going to take him off, and I think I'm going to bring in Peachman here to play alongside Connolly for this game. Have we got any other players really struggling? Morgan is struggling. So we will bring in Renda Hadj to play there. Hadji, a player who, he's played a little bit of first team football. He's a bit of a weird case, really, because I don't hate him as a footballer, but he just isn't very good when it comes to how good his attributes are for any role. I mean, he's not exactly a great defensive fullback, really. And then when you compare him to kind of a wide midfielder, he just doesn't really fit the mould of any of the positions that we need players to play. It's a bit of a shame, really. But he's a half-decent player to have here. He is fit. We'll play him at right back. I'm just looking at the rest of the team. Andy Sutton at centre mid, struggling a little bit. Have we got any centre mids with fitness? We do indeed. We have Tom Elliott, and we also have actually Neil Dixon. So I might play both of these youngsters in the midfield. I think that's actually going to be the way we approach this game. I kind of just want to make sure we've got players with maximum condition, to be honest, just kind of starting for us here, and that's kind of going to be important, I feel like. So we'll make these changes here. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with the squad we've got going into this game. It is a little bit weakened, as I mentioned, because of the fitness issues, but it's still for the most part, pretty solid. I'm just wondering if we now have a right mid with some fitness. We do not. So I think this is the team we will go with for today's game. We can still add a player to the bench, so we'll do that too. Peter Morgan, you can get on there. I'm just wondering if any of the other players I removed from the squad I want to have at our disposal, but I don't think it matters too much. Do I want to take off Lee Robson for Hernandez? I don't think I am. Lee Robson has a little bit more match fitness. So anyway, I've rambled a little bit there. Let's get into the game. We are playing away from home for this first leg, so if we could get a good result here, that would be absolutely fantastic. Getting a little notification telling me that all my players are extremely unfit. Not entirely surprising, really, considering this is the first game of the year. But in other news and in good news, the club reputation and the club coefficient in Europe has risen. I believe we're now up to kind of almost top 300 clubs in Europe based on their UEFA coefficient. In terms of the division, that raised by about 26 places. I believe the Primera Division is now in, I think, 178th, which is still very, very low down the European competition rankings, but at least it's somewhere. And in terms of the national coefficient, in terms of the league, that's very, very good. There's now 3 Europa League spots and 2 Champions League spots as of next year. And the winners of the league next year will not have to play this first qualifying round, which is something I speculated might be the case last year. I can now confirm that's the case, and we've just scored. It's an own goal. Thank you very much, Martins. I will take that all day, every day. 17 minutes in, we've been given a little bit of a gift there, but I'm not going to complain. A ball whipped in. I think Connolly was actually looking for the header there, but somehow the defender directed it in. It was Hadji with the ball in, Hadji there, and then, yeah, Martins just can't direct his header, lobs his own keeper. Connolly celebrates as if he scored. We'll take it. It's 1-0, but we have got a set piece to defend here, and we've not defended it. That is shocking defending. Reiter scores for them. Apparently he didn't mean it. I can confirm that. I feel like this is going to be a really bad first touch. But the ball was whipped in here, near post. Who is that defending there? It's Elliott. Questionable. Keeping questionable as well. The ball trickles in. And it's suddenly 1-1 here. And, well, it's not going to be easy, I don't think, this game. I was hoping for an easy game. Connolly, can he score? Can he make it easy? He can. He scores. He makes it 2-1. Back from injury. Didn't score in either of the match's last live come, which if you missed it, go check it out. It was a cup final special as we had the Senior Cup and the Rock Cup finals. Spoilers, they were quite disappointing all in all. But we look like we're getting off to an okay start here. To concede a little bit concerning, but to get 2 away goals here is pleasing. We've kind of really rocketed through this stage of the competition the last few years, where we've just kind of stormed through the first qualifying round of the Champions League, which is pleasing, and we've regularly got to the second round. I think that's got to be our aim again here. And after that first half performance, we are on course to do it in this first leg. I'm going to tell the players I'm pleased with how it's going. They are absolutely loving it. We have got a few players really struggling here. I'm going to sub off Lee Robson right now. I don't really want him to get injured. Anthony Hernandez can come on. He's semi-match fit, so we'll give Hernandez the stage to take here and hope that he can maybe have an impact in this second half. We have got a few players struggling with fitness. Connolly is a player I might take off just because of the injury he's had, but we'll have to defend well first. Ideally, I'd like to get a 2-goal cushion before significantly weakening the side, and we need to defend here. They're on the attack. Nice play though, Dixon to Hadji. Poor pass, and now Loek. And it's up with Turple, and Turple scores for them. Steve Turple, he's loving it. He is having a party. It's 2-2 here. And this has been pretty disappointing. I mean, I know I played a weakened team here. I wanted to kind of sacrifice quality for condition. I'm hoping we're not going to live to regret that. I think the fact we've got 2 away goals is going to put us in quite a strong position. But it certainly might make me rethink the second leg. And if I'm honest, I feel like I'm a little bit guilty myself of being complacent here. I thought this would be a fairly easy result, a fairly standard match that we could just storm through. But looking at it at the moment, it's been anything but that. This has been particularly poor. And with 20 minutes left, it's still 2-2. We've already made 1 change. Glenn Gilbert is really struggling at left back. Unfortunately, we've not got a great alternative to him at left back, so we're going to have to keep him on. I am going to bring in Garitano to play centre mid for us, however, in the advanced playmaker role, because we're struggling there. And Ben Connolly, 45% condition. John Murray, take the stage on your 56% condition. Hopefully he can have a little bit of an impact. We have a set piece here. Gary Teo to take it, or Tano even. I feel like I just want to call him Gary or Gaz. I don't know why. Maybe I'll just call him Gary. Gary Tano is a mouthful. It's not actually. It doesn't roll off the tongue is what I'm trying to say. I'll tell you what wouldn't roll off the tongue if they scored here. I don't know what that means, by the way. But we are on the counter. Go on, Murray. If we can get a goal now, 10 minutes left. Murray cuts inside, threads through. Gary Tano, he scores. Take a bow, my son. His first goal in the Champions League. In off the underside of the crossbar. An insane assist by Murray. And you can't complain about that, can you? Murray cuts inside, lays it off. And he just rockets it. Bang. First time. In off the underside of the crossbar. Keeper has absolutely no chance. Gary, he's had the impact off the bench. He is loving it. I'm loving it. We're all loving it. Sponsored by McDonald's. 8 minutes left. 3-2. It wouldn't be the result I kind of hoped for, but at the same time, to get 3 away goals, to go away with a goal lead, I mean, things could be a lot worse, couldn't they there? And that looks like it's going to be all she wrote for this game. It's 3-2 here. We are going to be going into the second leg with a slender lead. I'm going to tell the players I'm pleased with that. That's a good away result. To get that many goals is pleasing. I'm going to join you guys in a second. We're going to have the second leg coming up. Hopefully you guys will stick around. And yeah, hopefully we can get the job done at home. So it's match day 2 here at the Victoria Stadium. We are at home for this second leg. I'm hoping we can use the home advantage as well as a slight improvement to some of our players' fitness. In this game, we are of course still taking on Avenir Beggen of Luxembourg. And Michael Oliver refereeing this game. A little bit of an odd one, that. I guess we are playing in the Champions League, so we need some good refs. But Michael Oliver, he's taken the trip down to Gibraltar. He's on holiday. He's here to, I guess, referee this game in the middle of July. I'm hoping we can get a good result here. In terms of the team, Felix in goal. Back four, Gilbert, Guerrero, Bonavia, Morgan. Midfield, Griffo, Sargent, Garitano and Robson. And then up front, we're going to go with Peachman and Connolly as always. So I'm hoping we can get a good result here. 3-2 up after that first leg. It was a pretty good first leg all in all. We've got a new arrival, Aaron Holmes, on the bench if we need him. We've got a few other really talented players on the bench. We've got players like Holmes, Ballester, Sutton's there, O'Connor's there, the left winger. We've also got Hernandez and we've also got Howe. So we've got options there. We've got players capable of coming on and making an impact for us. So we'll see how we get on here. I'm going to just tell the players we need to guard against complacency. Don't think the job is done. They are absolutely loving it. I'm loving it. Let's not make another McDonald's reference. Right, let's get into this game. I've never done that McDonald's thing before. It rolled off the tongue. It was a little bit weird. Okay, so it's 3-2 after the first leg. 3 away goals in our favour. That's got to be pretty darn pleasing, if I'm honest. In terms of player fitness, you could probably see it there. Felix is struggling a little bit, as is Glenn Gilbert. But with the exception of that, most of the players starting with a little over 70% condition. But we need to defend here. That was an early chance. I think that hit the woodwork or was saved away, that free kick. Although we might now hit on the counter. Or nothing might happen. That's the alternative. I mentioned Glenn Gilbert struggling for fitness. It's actually Morgan at right back who's the guy who's the unfitter of our 2 fullbacks. But he might be able to have an impact here. Robson whips it in. Connolly is there. Scores. We break the deadlock here. Ben Connolly, his second goal of this season so far, obviously. We are only in the second game, but 2 in 2 for him. Robson with a really nice assist as well from right mid. Whipped in the ball. Laid inside by Morgan. And it's just a nice little ball in. And Connolly, just a little glancing header, just has to direct it. The power on the cross really made that header easy for him. And we go 4-2 up on aggregate. A good position to be in now. This does mean, I do believe, that they will need to score 3 goals in order to go through. I mean, they have to score 3 because of away goals. If they were to win 2-1 on the night, that just wouldn't be good enough. So we've put ourselves in a great position. And we're on the attack again here. Connolly, and it's a horrific own goal by Hale. I don't know how it's gone in, but it's 2-0 now. 5-2 up on aggregate. And now Avenir Beggen, they need 3 goals just to take it to extra time. And, well, with our stronger team out here, a stronger lineup, we've looked a little bit better this game so far, but we've also scored 2. We've put ourselves in a very nice position now. If we could get a few more, that would be great just to, help boost kind of confidence. Although they are on the attack here. Remy cutting inside, lays it inside to Phil. To Lorenko. What a name that is. It's actually Lorenzo, I do believe. But that's a familiar name. I've just got a tear in my eye now thinking about Lorenko. If you don't know who Lorenko is, you missed out. I'm sorry, I can't tell you the story now. We are on the attack though. Sargent. Garitano to Robson. Can he pull back the ball? He can. Griffo's there. Griffo scores. Take a bow, my son. It's 3-0. His first goal of the season. Griffo, a player who was ousted from the first team really, with O'Connor really being a breakthrough talent last year, but he's been patient, he's waited in the wings and he's got a chance here and, well, he's taken it. It's a tap in, it's a 2-yard out goal. I don't think he could miss it if he tried. And it's 3-0 and we are having a laugh right now. We are in a great position. We're dominating this game. We've taken chances that have come our way. Fitness is a little bit of a problem. We really want to escape this match now if we can without any injuries. I think if we get one more, that would be kind of a signal, I guess, just to go defensive, slow down the tempo. We don't need to kind of, I guess, over-exacerbate our players. We don't need to get them exhausted. And Peachman with a chance, he scores. Let's just slow down this game completely now. We do not need... We don't need to overextend ourselves here. I'm going to skip the highlight, I'm sorry. But yeah, we're just going to slow everything down. We're going to sit deeper. We don't need to exploit the flanks. We don't need to look for the overlap. Let's just play balanced. We can kind of just relax now, you know. We can stick to positions. We don't need to run. We can just sit on the break and maybe try and counter. We'll also take a breather. And yeah, we can just enjoy the rest of this game now, I hope. We shouldn't concede 5 goals. If we could score a few more whilst on counter, that would be nice. But primarily now, I just want our players to relax. And we've scored another. Griffo now. Oh, it's offside. It's offside. Oh, well, that would have been 5-0 on the night. That would have been a little bit silly, wouldn't it? Unfortunately for us, the own goal denied. So at half-time, it's going to be 4-0 on the night. I'm very pleased with this performance. Couldn't ask for anything more in this leg. I'm going to take off a few players now, I think. Peter Morgan, 49% condition. We'll bring on Ballester. Other players struggling. I almost want to take off Gary Tarno at this point. He's just such a valuable player to us, I guess, at this point. We build so much of our play around him in midfield that we don't want to get him injured, so we're going to just take him off. We'll save our third sub as always for if we need it. If we don't get any injuries, you know, we'll use it with not long left. All in all, this has been a pretty pleasing performance. A good way to bounce back, a good way to... I don't know, show some resilience, I guess. It wasn't the walkover, I guess, I was expecting in this first leg, is what I'm trying to say. You know, 3-2, it wasn't convincing. To concede 2 is a little bit concerning, if I'm honest, even with the kind of, I guess, the circumstances behind the result. But here we've really kind of set the record straight. It's 4-0 at the moment. I'm going to make one more change. I'm going to bring in Holmes just to get him a little bit of match sharpness, get him on the pitch, let him have a little bit of a run around. For 5 minutes, the new centre-back. I'm not sure if this is his debut. In fact, I'm pretty sure it is now I think about it. Maybe he can score now from the corner. Oh, okay, he can. Welcome to the club, my friend. It's a debut goal for Aaron Holmes, the centre-back. Didn't really expect him to get that, if I'm honest. He's been on the pitch for 3.5 minutes. It's not what I've brought him here to do from North America. But he's leapt like a salmon and just volleyed it in. Take a bow, my son. He's loved that. I've loved it. We're all loving it. Oh, I've done it again. I've done it again. Sponsored by McDonald's. I'm a sellout. I'm sorry. Boys, we're going to win this one. It's going to be 5-0. Good performance. No injuries to speak of, I don't think. That is exactly what we needed from this game. Really kind of stuck to our plan, especially in that second game. The stronger team definitely kind of prevailed, I guess, and pretty happy with that. Good to see the morale so high as well. All on superb in the starting 11. Cannot complain about that one little bit. And that result will see us go through to the next qualifying round. And in that next round... who are we going to be taking on? We're going to be taking on Apoel, who are a Cypriot team, I want to say. They are indeed. How good are their players? Let's have a look. They've got a few older players here. We just have a flick through. They've got Simeon Jackson, former Norwich City Hall of Famer. That's a weird player to see in Cyprus. I mean, they've definitely got a stronger team than us, but I don't think they're unbeatable. They've got a lot of older players, so maybe their fitness can be a problem, and that can kind of play into our hands a little bit. We'll have to see how we get on. Either way, it should be a good game to stick around for. Hopefully I'll see you guys for that match. As always, if you have enjoyed this video, please do smash the like button, guys. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully I'll see you guys for episode 36. And if you've got any comments, leave them down below. And with all that said, thank you for watching. It is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.